Okay, hello everybody. My name is Carolyn Dee Flores, and today we're going to be talking about the 5 levels of a picture book. In some cases there's also a 6th level, and we'll get to that as well. But first I'm going to create a whiteboard. I take a piece of foam board, and this foam board cover, it comes in rolls, and of course we have the Expo markers so that it can work, and I'm going to set it up on an easel in just a minute. So right now I'm going to go ahead and make the foam board, whiteboard, and I will be right back. So give me just a minute. Ooh, ow! Ow! Ooh. Okay, I'm just kidding. Actually, that was just for special effect because I'm messing with you. But right now, I really am going to go make a whiteboard, and I will be right back. Hi everybody, and so I'm here to tell you about the 6 levels of making a picture book, or things you should actually be considering when you're making a picture book. And so we'll start with the first aspect, words. Words are your story. Words are what tell your story to children. Now, words can be represented in 2 ways. They can be represented as text, and that means like the font and the text and the way they're actually printed in a book, and they can also be read aloud. But either way, words are what you begin with. It's the idea and how it's paced. The second level is your visual aspect. The visual aspect is the illustrations, of course, but it's also the text combined with the illustrations, and they work together. They cannot be separated. When you look at a page in a book and you're seeing it, you're seeing both text and illustrations. Okay, number 3, the 3rd level is the auditory level. How does your book sound when it's read aloud? Children love to say, read me that book again, read me that book over and over. Why? Because of the impact of the auditory level. Now, books share a lot in common with songs, at least picture books do. They have 32 pages, which is very close to the 32 bar turnaround in a pop song. They have a rhythm, they have a pacing. Usually they build to an exciting point, and they have a resolution, and sometimes maybe a trick resolution. But all of these things are things that you might see in a pop song. And so the visual and the auditory aspect of a book work together to create this awesome thing. But let's not forget ever the songness of a book, because you can even feel the song. You can even feel the auditory value when you're just reading it. Okay, 4, the design of a book. This is the storyboard, and not just the storyboard, but it's the physicality of the book. It's the cover, it's the back cover, it's the end pages, it's the title page, it's the publisher's info and the dedication and the beginning spreads. It's how a book feels, how much it weighs, how you look at it. You know, what's really interesting about the physicality of a book is picture books are generally larger than other books, and that is because when a child sits down to read one, I've seen little ones pick up a book and they'll open it up and they'll be completely surrounded by it. Why? Because it's very important for a child to be immersed in the physicality of their book. The second important thing to mention about design is that when you look at these thumbnails, and for instance, I did one here real quickly. It's got a circle that represents my fish, Ashley. She's in a bowl. She's on a beach. Here's a tree, a giant tree, a woolly goat, a purple sea. And this is the spread where Ashley first starts to imagine that there could be something more, that there are other types of worlds. And because of that, you have clouds, and you can kind of see that part of the story. Now the thing is, when you show all your thumbnails together in a storyboard, and they are all lined up, you should be able to read your story from beginning to end just by looking at these basically geometric symbols. And that is one very important part about all of these levels, or all of these different aspects of a picture book. All of them should be able to tell the story not only in combination, but individually. Okay, number 5. Our 5th aspect is color. Color is a personal favorite of mine. When I first decided to become an illustrator, one of my greatest goals was to tell stories using color. I come from abstract expressionism. Those are those big, huge paintings with no reference. That means they're not figurative. They're not about the shape. They are about placement and color. Okay? So, because of that, The Amazing Watercolor Fish, I felt, was an important story that needed to be told using color as well. So, in this particular book, it starts off in black and white because Ashley's very lonely. And as she starts to imagine things, you see a little more color slip in. As she starts to realize that there's another fish, her world becomes even more colorful until it culminates in the very end with fully saturated color. Okay? And number 6 is the wild card. Now the wild card is that thing that makes your book unique that maybe hasn't been done before. In the case of my last book, it is the idea of making a book rhyme in both Spanish and English and make it an early reader. This is a really exciting area because this is going to be an area where you have to think outside of the box, where you have to consider all of the important things that you're trying to do in a picture book and all of the fun things and still maintain them with whatever unique aspect you're bringing to the book. Now, this is the most important aspect, in my opinion, nowadays, because even from the beginning of the history of picture books, this is the area where things always made that jump, where you jump to a new plateau, where you introduce something that might not have been introduced before, where you make everything better. And so this is a very interesting aspect. It's your uniqueness. It's a unique challenge. It's that risky, rebel-taking task that you have become part of your book. Okay, so these are the 6 levels, and I'm going to go because I can hear JC playing the trumpet in the background right now, which is really cool because this whole place is like an art practice studio. But okay, so these are the 6 levels, and I have one more thing to say about that, and I'm going to include that in just a minute.
Oh.
Yeah, just one more thing. I wanted to mention my t-shirt says, just because you live in a bowl doesn't mean you can't see the world. Okay? That's a shout out to librarians everywhere. So see you later, and I hope you have fun reading, especially picture books, if I had my way. Bye-bye.